Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you are new here, we are O2 Productions Co. We are an independent filmmaking duo, and we are currently working and finishing up on our first feature-length film, The Pitch. So check out any past videos that have to do with that, or just not in general. We have some movie reviews, which is what this one is today, and some other like tier ranking videos also. But let's get into today's video. So today we are coming to you from actually a different location. This is my basement of my house. I
No
don't live
longer
in,
at school.
yeah, I don't live in the basement. I said like this is my basement where I live. But yeah, the basement of my house is a new location. So
Probably
yeah,
going to be our main location, right?
yeah,
I would
probably.
say
Yeah,
for the most part. So
yeah.
get used to the scenery. It's about the same. We're sitting on the couch just
Yeah,
chatting,
yeah,
at our
yeah.
phone or
Hmm.
at his phone. I
Yes.
mean, it's not
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, today's video we are going to be reviewing or giving you a review of Sinners.
A little late,
A little
but
late.
we felt like we had to talk about it.
A little bit. A little bit.
We have some interesting takes.
So yeah, so Sinners, if you're unfamiliar with it, came out, I don't know, like what, a month ago or something like that? Not even.
Was it really a month? I don't think it's quite a month. Maybe like 3 weeks.
Let's say a few weeks.
Almost a month,
Yeah.
though. It's crazy.
So a few
A
weeks
lot of
ago,
buzz.
yeah,
A lot of buzz around it.
yeah, I've seen commercials all over the place. Like Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, yes. And I don't really know who else.
Ryan
But
Coogler directing,
yes, Ryan
guy who
Coogler,
made the
Black
Black
Panther.
Panther
Yes.
movies, Creed,
Mm-hmm.
and Fruitvale Station, which I haven't seen, but that was
Right.
his first, I think, like sort of bigger film. It
Right.
wasn't super big budget, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
that one.
So yeah,
But yeah,
you can get right into it.
we're
Yeah.
sorting out the order of these videos. So again, we're not professional
Yeah.
movie reviewers yet.
Mm-hmm.
We are independent filmmakers.
Yes. Remember that.
Remember that.
Yeah.
That's more important.
Mm-hmm.
So the order might still get mixed up here, but we're trying to set our order for how we do this. So we're gonna start with the context of this movie, our
Mm-hmm.
expectations going into it, because I think that helps influence our
Right.
thoughts. So that then it's better to tell you guys so that if we have any biases, like I don't know if there's somebody we really like or don't like or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
In this case, for me, I had decent expectations for this one. Actually, I normally am pretty pessimistic going into movies because I'm just a
Yeah.
pessimistic person. I guess I don't know. I guess
No.
I just hate the
No.
world. No,
No.
um, but I had heard pretty good things before, which I really need to stop doing is stop looking at what people say. But even without that, just looking at the trailers, I thought the trailers looked quite good.
Mm.
Not great, but good. And yeah, so I was intrigued. And Ryan Coogler is an interesting voice in the film community, and I liked Black Panther.
Yeah.
Didn't love it as some people really
I
do,
liked
but
it
I
a lot.
liked it.
Yeah.
Um, and Creed.
Mm.
Creed was really good.
It
I think I
was.
prefer Creed to Black Panther, but they're both really solid movies.
That's tough. I have to think
I
about that
haven't
one.
seen his other
Yeah.
work. Oh, Michael B. Jordan. I
Mm.
think Michael B. Jordan is a really great acting talent. I'll just say
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with the rest of the cast here, really. No, but
Mm.
I do like me some Michael B. Jordan. He is
Okay.
what
Oh, no,
what
just what you said. No,
I know it's a weird way to say
a
it, but
little bit.
he's a good
Yeah.
actor.
Yes.
He's a good actor, so
Yeah.
I like him. If he's on a movie, I'm pretty intrigued by that.
Yeah.
So I think that's all I have to say for like my expectations.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really have too big of expectations going in. I mean, obviously, I saw the commercial saying like the biggest film of the year and the best movie of the year and all that stuff. But like, they just say that because they want people to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of went in with like I wouldn't say zero expectations, but like blindly. And I won't get into it just yet what I thought about it, but also I like Michael B. Jordan. I of course like Haley Steinfeld. I mean, who doesn't?
So now we are going to start with our biggest positive. So this is the number one
Mm,
thing. If we had to pick something that we think is the best about this movie, would
yeah.
you like me to start with this?
Yeah, go
You did
ahead.
start in the last one, and that's kind of order we're going. So
Go for it.
okay.
All right.
Well, this is going to be easy. He might have taken this from me, so I'm glad I'm going first. Maybe not.
Mm,
But for me, by far, the best thing about this movie, and the one I would say the one aspect that's really like top notch with this film is that the score and the soundtrack is unbelievable. One of the
right.
best, in my opinion, one of the best scores slash soundtracks, whatever you want to call it, the music in general,
Mhm.
some of the best I've seen, just period. I
Period.
think it works so well with the story. It sounds really good. It fits the aesthetic, the period, the vibe, and the way the movie obviously talks about music is really good. It's very interesting, and so I think that the number one thing to commend with this movie for sure is the soundtrack and music.
Hmm.
So what do you have? Biggest positive?
I mean, part of mine is exactly what he
Yeah,
said. Is
exactly.
I thought the music was pretty awesome. Definitely fit the time period and definitely made me want to get up and dance a little bit. But I also like the cinematography. I thought just like the camera work and the shots that they shot were pretty unique and like well shot out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The cinematography would be number two. That's like what I would
yeah.
have taken if you had gone
I
first.
figured you would pick
So
one of them. Yeah,
the more we talk about it together, I feel like we have the same thoughts about this movie, but
pretty
different
much.
ratings.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Mhm.
Other positives, I mean, I think the performances in here are all really good. I don't think there's a weak performance here. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a performance that really like blows me away. I would say Michael B. Jordan for sure is definitely the best here.
Right.
But everybody else is good. Again, I don't think there's
Yeah.
a weak point in the cast.
I don't think so. No, I can't really think of
What else do we
one.
have?
Yeah.
The horror aspect. I forgot to say in the context. I'll just leave it here.
Yeah.
I'm generally not super into vampire movies.
Mm.
It's just not really my thing.
Oh, come on. I know you like
I
Twilight.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
really, I wouldn't say really enjoyed, but I did like Nosferatu that came out last year.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but generally, I haven't seen a lot of vampire movies, and I'm just not really into the idea of vampires. I just think they're just there. I don't know. It's not a concept that super intrigues me, so that
Yeah.
kind of took away from the movie. That's getting into negatives a little bit, but
A little
it's
bit.
not really a negative. It's just I'm not super into vampires.
Fair
But
enough.
still, what they did with it was pretty cool, and they were decently scary. And I thought like when they did like the crazy like you would like jump into the air and like basically like fly,
Well, that's what vampires do.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought it looked really cool, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty scary when like the final third act like showdown and
Mm.
stuff was pretty
Yeah.
chaotic. So that was good. Sort
Nah, I
of.
think I'm done with the goods.
The
Yeah. I
thing
mean,
is,
yeah.
again, we're several weeks out from watch. I watched it literally the second week it was out, so it's been a couple
Mm.
weeks. So just because I might be a little lacking in stuff to talk about doesn't mean I have as much to talk about. It's just I've kind of lost track
Right.
of the things I liked and disliked.
Right.
But do we have anything in the mix? I don't have anything really mixed. I guess I can mention the vampire thing, but I already said that I'm not super into vampires, so that sort of had an influence. It's just the concept as a
Yeah.
whole for me wasn't super crazy, but
Mm. I don't think I have anything for the mix besides like spoiling it.
okay.
So we'll
Yeah,
save that for
wait for the
later.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers come up at the end. So, strongest negative. You could take it first on this in case we have the same one. So now you
Yeah.
have the advantage.
All right.
I gotta think about this for a second.
I mean, I think my biggest negative was just like the storyline, just like how the story played out. I just thought it was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm,
Yeah, the way they used vampires to portray something else, of which I'll explain later, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of, I guess. And also, although the characters were well played out, they didn't really interest me too much, if that makes sense. I kind of just lost interest in it like halfway through. I was like, okay, what's next? And then that happened. I was like, okay, that's something. And then it just fell off. Yeah,
I sort of agree with that. I don't know if that'd be my strongest negative, but a part of my sort of negatives is just, yeah, I don't know. This movie in general just didn't necessarily like hit me the way it sounds like it's hit a lot of
yeah,
people. Just like,
hmm
I don't know. I feel like there was just something like, which I think might just be the fact that it's the vampires. I don't know, but there wasn't
You
that
just
like
have an out for
I
vampires.
don't, but I'm trying to find the reason why, because like the really good movies that you enjoy, they hit you in that way, where it's
Yeah,
just like the last movie we just talked about,
Final
Final
Destination.
Destination
Yeah,
Bloodlines.
hmm
Not to get into that, watch our review of that,
yeah,
but that hit me like at points where I'm like, wow, this is like really good. This is like
yep,
a special moment or a special scene,
hmm
like or a special whatever
twist, all that
twist,
stuff.
whatever you want to call
Like
it.
wow.
There was not a lot of that
Yeah,
so that's what I'd say in terms of the story. But if I were to say my biggest negative, and this isn't like the craziest thing, but if I had to choose one, there's not like one like super big negative for me. But if I had to choose one, it's just the opening makes no sense to me. Do you remember how it starts with
yeah, yeah.
it starts with a character returning back home, if you will, or
hmm
whatever. If you've seen it or if you do see it, you'll figure it out. This isn't a spoiler,
Right.
but it completely gives away that this character makes it to the end of the movie.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
And
So, yeah.
while this Sinners is not exactly that type of movie, like it's not purely about the horror. So it's not just about, oh, who's gonna live. It's really just not about that at all. But I just question, like, it also just wasn't very intriguing. Like
Yeah,
it was like, okay, this guy's beat up.
right.
Okay, his dad's telling him to repent for his sins or whatever. I didn't find it very interesting. I feel like we should have just started with Michael B. Jordan's characters
A
coming
little
into
bit.
town. Like we didn't
Yeah.
need this like it's not necessarily a cold open. It's really not. But we didn't need this like because then it goes obviously into a flashback like, oh, a couple days earlier or like
Yeah.
earlier that day, whatever it
Mhm.
says. I don't remember. But like we just didn't need it. And I thought it was just like I thought it again, it's
It
not like
didn't grab you.
it's not the yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't I didn't need that to grab me and it didn't do a good job of grabbing me anyways. So
Yeah.
it's not like this huge negative,
Yeah.
but but out of all the negatives, that's the biggest one where I was immediately as soon as that started in the movie, I'm like, okay,
Wow. So
so you're
right
just
off the
telling us
back,
that?
right off the back, it was just negative for you.
It started off a little bit. Again, this isn't like a drastic like wow, crazy thing, but
Mm.
that was just like, why? Why?
Yeah.
I have another quick negative that I want to say before I forget. So
Go for
the
it.
other thing is there were just a couple times where I was like, again, I'll say things just didn't move me and they just felt like unnecessary. Like there was this random one, like long shot, long take,
Yeah, I
and
looked at that when I was watching it. I didn't have a problem with it. I was
I
like,
thought
okay.
it. I love long takes, and I've
Yeah.
already said this on the channel, but just for context, I love long takes. I think they're awesome. I
Yeah.
love the coordination required. This movie has possibly one of the most unnecessary long takes I've ever seen.
It
And it's
wasn't
just like
that long.
it's not that long of a take, but
Yeah.
still, it's an extended, and it's just it's a character crossing the street and getting her mom,
Yeah. I was trying to count it.
and
I was like, what's Dave talking about?
and
But
like again, this isn't like the worst negative, but I'm just like, why is this here?
yeah.
It did nothing for the story. It wasn't that intriguing. There wasn't like a lot going on. It's just Ryan Coogler just decided to follow this character, and I don't hate it, but I'm just like, why is this here? And then there's also
Okay.
and then there's also this scene which is actually a lot of people really like, which is when the vampires are all actually the fact that they're vampires is a mini spoiler, but I feel like everybody knows that now, so
Yeah.
sorry.
It's yeah.
It was supposed to be a bit of a spoiler, but like they're all dancing together to like this Irish jig or something.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that scene at all. People say that scene was like really special, like really awesome. I found it unnecessary and not super interesting. I was just like, it was sort of fun. Again, it's not anything that I hate, but I'm just like, it made me feel absolutely nothing. So I'm like,
No, I was pretty much the same
this
way.
movie could have
Yeah.
done without that.
Yeah.
Like, it really just could have. I was like, I don't really,
Yeah.
I didn't really care about that.
Yeah, I remember that scene. I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I am entering the spoiler territory, so we're gonna put it in big caps. So, you know, if you
Yeah,
can't,
if you haven't seen
yeah,
Sinners yet, um, uh,
just turn it off here.
turn it off, or if you don't care about being spoiled, stick
Listen
around.
in. Yeah. And all right, just the overall premise of using vampires to portray, I guess, racist was the thing, like
Sort of,
racist
yeah,
people.
yeah. Racism was definitely in there.
But like the thing with that is, this is definitely a spoiler. When the white people are the first vampires, and then when the white people as vampires attack the black people and obviously turn them into vampires, the black people are they're vampires. So are they also considered racist too? So like, does racism affect the same way for like black and white? But then why are the black people still going after like the black people that they were just like having fun with if it's like trying to see the difference in racism in a way?
I don't know if that was. I do think that was sort of a theme of the movie, but I don't know if they're really looking at it that specifically about like, oh, they're like making them racist per se. I don't think
No,
that's what they were
I
doing.
don't know. It just confused me there.
I mean, they corrupted them.
Yes.
Obviously, I mean that's
See,
what
but why
vampires
would they
do.
go after like I guess their own if that
Because they're
part
just
confused me.
corrupted. They're sinners, you know,
That's
and
yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're accepting of their sin in order to achieve
Yes.
eternal life. That's kind of like the
I guess
premise
so,
of
yeah.
the whole movie, which I thought was pretty
Hmm.
interesting personally.
Yeah. Um Another thing that I didn't like was there was when they're at the barn like partying, there was like a big dance scene with like music and all that stuff. And out of nowhere, just randomly, like a DJ pulls up with like headphones on. What's going on here? And then it turns over a camera to like some girl just like twerking. I'm like, I thought this was like the 30s. I didn't think they even knew how to do that, let alone have a DJ too. So that just confused me. But I guess that was like a so on to say like modern racism or something like that. And
No,
then
I'm gonna have to push back on this real quick.
go ahead.
I thought this was a good scene.
I, I would,
Again, this is another scene where people are saying like, "Oh, this is the best scene of the year." I would not say that. It
right.
was a good scene though. I personally liked it.
It just felt random to me, like
It was
super
a
random.
it did
Yeah.
feel a bit random to me at the time, but thinking about it, I was like, no, that was still pretty cool though, because you had different. It was about, and the whole movie as a whole is about like the culture
Mm.
that is driven by music and how music
Oh,
music and
yeah.
culture kind of
Mm.
work off each other, and they parallel each other a lot. So like it was going through the crowd and it showed like different cultures of music, different eras of music,
Right.
and I did find the twerking a little bit weird. I
Yeah.
will say that.
Right.
I mean,
I
that's
didn't get that
that's
part.
a
Yeah.
personal thing. I thought that
Right.
was just weird. I didn't think that was necessary.
Yeah. No
But
way.
all the different cultures and stuff, I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and to sort of defend myself, if people will hate me for being like, "Oh, you think the Irish jig scene?" I don't know.
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
think that was unnecessary, but you think that's fine. The like I don't know. I find it a little different because like that's like the central theme of the movie, and I get the jig is also sort of like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it felt more necessary to have like the different eras and like to show the magic of music as well. And
Right.
I thought that just had a different feel to it and felt more special and more useful to the story and themes of the movie
Yeah.
than the other one. So like they're
Mm-hmm.
similar but different. So I want to
Well
just
said.
I
Yeah.
want to get ahead of any
Yeah.
criticism of that, which you
Right.
could still have. I'd understand if you would
Yeah.
make that same argument, but I think they influence the story a little differently for me.
Yeah. So I have two more complaints. This one's a little bit shorter. So when the vampires were attacking the barn, um, one of the supporting characters, who's a woman, she automatically knew. She was like, "Oh,
Oh,
it's
that's right.
vampires." She was like,
I
"Oh,
forgot
it's
about
it's
that.
vampires." I'm like, first, well, first of all, her character's like some kind of like spiritual lady, so she should know about this stuff. But it's like, so you automatically know that like when people are attacking a barn, you're like, "Oh, it's vampires." Like it's just what they do. It's a normal thing.
I did find that a bit strange. It didn't I don't think it really affected my rating or anything, but that
Unless
was a bit weird.
unless it's just like a tie-in to like them calling their attackers like the racist people or something like that. I guess that could be fine. But the thing that I hated the most was actually the mid-credit ending, which a lot of people liked a lot, but I hated that. That's what really brought down my rating altogether. So yeah, if you haven't already, this is like probably the biggest spoiler ever. So hop off if you don't want to hear it. So yeah, to give a little context, Michael B. Jordan plays two characters, cousins. They're like twins, but they're cousins.
They're
So
twins.
yeah, no, they say they're cousins.
I thought that was just a joke.
Oh, I don't know. I bought it, but
Smoke and Stack.
yeah, I
Great names.
I couldn't remember names, but so yeah, one of them ends up dying, becoming a vampire, and the other one stays alive, obviously. And then they get into a big fight at the end, and the human Michael B. Jordan like goes to like kill his vampire brother, but then eventually you find out that he didn't do that. And then he was like he made his vampire brother or cousin promise to not kill the
The
main
yeah.
character who was actually his cousin. And he was like, "Okay, I won't kill him. I'll let him live out his whole life." And then the end credit scene is Michael B. Jordan, vampire, and Haley Steinfeld, she turns into a vampire. Coming into a bar with the main character, the cousin main character, as like an old man, just like drinking whiskey or whatever. And he comes in and um he comes into the bar and he's like oh, what are you guys still doing alive? And he's like, "Oh yeah, I made a promise to not kill you. Um just to like let you live out your life to my brother in order for him to spare me." And I was like, "Wait, multiple many years ago, you didn't care at all if the humans survived or not. So like why would you give him humanistic traits of making a promise to like uh, your brother who you were just about to kill those many years ago?" to say and just given like human traits in general, it just contradicts way too much. Like you, he's a vampire. He's not supposed to care about human feelings, anything like that. But yet he still did that. And actually, in the end, he still leaves him. Like he gives him a good sniff, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you don't have much time left." But even still, why would he not kill him in that instant because he's a vampire and didn't care before? Like that drove me off.
I sort of get that, and I do think that Ryan Coogler, I think, took a little bit of liberty with the idea of the vampires in favor of like the message,
Mm,
obviously, and the themes of like, you know, repenting of sin and stuff like that. And I can understand that. And I do sort of agree that maybe that does kind of not make sense, but I didn't mind it.
mm,
And also the fact that it's a mid-credit scene, honestly, I think helped even more. If that was like, I don't know, that is like the true ending, but at the same time, because it's in the mid-credits, it feels to me like I can sort of separate it as well from the main story, where it's like I like the main story ending,
mm,
and I also don't mind that part too. So like I can exist, even though
yeah,
the mid-credits sort of doesn't make sense, I think it ties it up well. So like
I can't. Yeah.
if the mid-credit scene was just tacked on to the end, honestly, maybe I'd be a bit of negative on it.
Mm,
But I don't know. I feel like that was such a good and effective use of a mid-credit scene that
yeah.
many movies don't know how to do. That I
I,
think I can forgive that he kind of he did sort of break the logic of vampires and those characters.
well, yeah.
But
Forgive but not forget.
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the end, to kind of summarize everything, am I missing anything? No, okay. To summarize everything, this is a good movie. Let me make that clear. In my
Mm,
mind.
mm,
I'm speaking
yeah.
for myself.
Yeah.
This is a good movie. Is this
Sure.
a great movie?
No.
I personally
Yeah.
wouldn't say so because again, it just didn't hit me in the way it seems to like a lot of other people.
Hmm.
I think I have to say this every time now, but the way I convey
Yeah.
my rating, like, it doesn't make sense with what I'm saying right now, what I think of the movie.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No. Yeah.
Okay, my rating for
Yeah.
Sinners is an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. See, he, I've known him forever. I still don't understand his scale. Like,
So
yeah.
would you say an 8 out of 10 is a great movie?
Yeah.
I would not.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I feel like I should make my own like a whole separate video just explaining my rating system. For me,
Yeah.
if you my letterbox is in the description, you can look at that. I consider a great movie an 8.5 or above.
Mm,
8.5, like
mm,
8.5 out of 10, 85 out of 100, whatever.
yeah.
Like that's a great movie. And an 8.5 specifically is the line where I'll do the little like on Letterboxd or whatever. Like I could say those are movies that I really like.
Mm,
8.5s are like a really good like one-time watch, and then
yeah.
9 or above is like, okay, this is fantastic. I could go back to this. I'm not much of a movie rewatcher.
Ah,
I hate rewatching movies.
I like. I like to. Yeah.
Unless they're like 10 out of 10.
Right.
Then I'll rewatch them like maybe once every like decade.
Yeah.
But I'm not much of a movie rewatcher. 8.5s are just over the cusp of like, okay, this was a really good one-time watch. So 8 out of 10 it's good, but
Mhm.
this is not a movie I would ever return to, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody wanted to watch it, I wouldn't say no because I think it's a good movie. It's good. I think an 8 is good, but not great.
Fair enough. This is my time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I just don't think there's ever and I don't think there will ever be any way that I can properly explain my rating system. But I don't know, maybe that makes me too harsh, but
No.
I really think like for me to call a movie great or
Yeah.
even like fantastic, it's got to be
You can
really high.
explain it in like a hour
Which
long video.
I know, right? And
Yeah.
it's like and it sort of doesn't help that our first movie that we reviewed, I really, really liked.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Because then it looks like I'll just give that rating to like any movie. Because
Right.
Final Destination Bloodlines is not a movie for everybody,
Oh no.
but I think it should be because I think it's
I
fantastic.
liked it.
Like
From
I do not give
yeah.
9.5s often
Never.
at
Yeah.
all, and
Yeah.
I never, well, not never, but I hardly
Yeah.
give tens. I have
Yeah.
10 movies that I've given a 10 on Letterboxd
10.
200
That's actually more than I thought.
ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gone up there. But the thing is, I've also been trying to hit some of the movies I really like. But
Mm.
I I'd like to think I'm pretty strict about my tens. That being said, I'm not the person who's like a 10 has to be the most perfect every aspect. Like
Yeah.
you could have a 10 out of 10 experience and have like maybe the slightest flaws, but like if there's any sort of significant flaw, it's immediately getting knocked down.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
think I like my rating system. All right, shoot
Yeah.
me. 8 out of 10 is good, but not great. Sinners is a good movie. I would recommend it to many people because I think a lot of people will like it a little more than me. But
Right.
there were points that it didn't quite reach that 8.5.
Mm,
I really enjoyed it as a one-time watch type thing.
fair
All
enough.
right.
Yeah.
With all that being said, that's probably gonna get cut out. But go
All
ahead.
right.
I should make a video where I just explain my rating
That'd
system.
be fun. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't, because I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah. Um, I guess I should start off with a little bit of a lighter side to try and save myself a little bit.
You don't have to save yourself. Your rating is fine.
No,
It's
we'll
fine.
see. We'll see like what comes in my mailbox the next day. So, I could see how and why people might like this movie, but I just didn't. If that gives you a little hint into what I'm thinking. So yeah, with like everything that I've said about the negatives, the little bit of positives that it has, I ultimately give it a 6. Like that's just my rating. It's like after I saw it with my mom, who actually came downstairs if you saw me like getting distracted. But I saw it with my mom. After it was done, I kind of sat there and I was like, huh, that was a mid movie. Like that was just mid.
That's crazy.
Like
That's crazy. Just
I
made that was mid.
I just didn't feel anything. I was like, this is supposed to be like the best picture of the year. I'm like, oh, come on, you can do better than that. I mean, no offense to Ryan Coogler, he's a genius, but like, I just didn't feel anything that like everybody was saying. And yeah, again with the negatives I gave, I can't get past the mid credit ending. That really brought it down because like it was at a 7, but then mid credit scene just like that just
Damn, that was that bad. That was a whole
it
point
was
down.
it was so bad. I
Wow.
really hated that.
Huh.
But yeah, would I watch it again? No. Would I recommend it to people? Maybe. But as far as like my overall liking, it's just a mid movie in my opinion. Nothing
I would
super
say
duper
I would say
special.
vampire movie fans will definitely like it. Ryan Coogler fans will absolutely like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're loving it.
And Michael B. Jordan
Michael B.
fans.
Jordan
Yeah.
fans. I mean, I would consider myself a pretty decent Michael B. Jordan fan, and I think his performance is solid here, but
hmm
it didn't make the movie for me.
hmm
I don't know if anyone
he
performs can
was
make the movie for
I
me,
think
but
he was the best part of the movie actually.
really, you didn't put that as your strongest positive. You said cinematography.
That's true. All right, call back. Yeah. Stay tuned. Subscribe below if you haven't, like the video. And thank you for your support so far. And yeah, stay tuned for future videos and updates. Thank you.
See you guys.